Hey everybody. Hopefully everybody can see us okay. And we want to just welcome you tonight to an opportunity to bloom. So we are so excited and thankful you are here. And we thank you for accepting the invitation from the designer that invited you. And this is just going to be a really, really fun, informal night to just hear the stories of a few of the J Bloom designers, my good friends across the country. We all have a little bit different story with J Bloom. And so we thought it would be kind of fun for you to hear from different ages, different backgrounds, different careers, and then just get to know the company a little better. And we are especially honored to have our owner and founder, Jennifer Bonacorsi, on the call with us tonight. And so I just want to start by saying thank you, Jennifer, so much for joining us tonight to share your story and about J Bloom. And then to you other leaders and designers, I'm so appreciative of you being here as well. So as we get started, we don't want to waste your time, but we want you to, as you're hearing these stories, we want you to comment below and let us know who the designer is that invited you so that you can get entered into our raffle. Hopefully you saw the flyer that shared some of the amazing gifts that these leaders have donated for you to win. And so you'll get a raffle entry for commenting on this feed. And then also through the next few days, through Friday, we're gonna have other leaders and designers with J Bloom post their stories. And if you comment on one of those, you'll get an additional entry too. So our hope, of course, is that at the end of this, you would join our sisterhood. This has been an experience like no other for many of us, and it's changed our lives truly for so many different reasons. And so we hope you would join us. So my name is Cheryl DeGroat. I am an executive director designer from Visalia, California, a little agricultural community in California, not at the beach, not to be confused with palm trees and oceans. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I've been with J Bloom almost 6 years, if you can believe that. And I think about how all of our stories are so different. So some people come to J Bloom for the income. They just need instant income. Some come because they just love the jewelry. Some come because they need a little girl time and they love the sisterhood. Maybe you've seen some pictures that your designers posted of being in Cancun or at a team meeting or doing an online boutique and just seeing how much fun she's having, and you think, I want to be a part of that. And so everybody joins for different reasons, and then sometimes it stays that reason and sometimes it changes. And so for me, I was a stay-at-home mom when I came into this business with little kids, and I think from the outside probably everything looked great. My husband had a great job, and my dream was to be a stay-at-home mom. It really was. I didn't know it was going to be so hard. Nobody told me that part. And so it came to a point where it was basically like me at home with these two little kids and a lot of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I like to joke that Mickey and I raised our kids together, which is probably why my kids love Disneyland so much. I've often wondered why they always want to go, but he's like part of the family because he was on all the time. But it was really hard for me a lot of times. I found myself in kind of a dark place, and I knew I was blessed to be a stay-at-home mom. I was so thankful for that, but I felt like I had kind of lost myself, if I'm really honest with you. The other thing was, I am married to a numbers guy. So he likes budgets and he likes Excel and he loves Dave Ramsey. For all of you that have husbands that keep a close watch on the budget, he did. And so here I was, the highlight of my week was taking the kids out to Target and putting a mocha in the mocha holder and just rolling the aisles. And you know how it goes. You go for Tide, but then you end up with some pillows and some candles and a cute t-shirt or whatever, which doesn't seem like much, but it was always kind of like, well, did you need that? And so I just got to a point where I just wanted like $200 of my own money to not have to explain away. And so when I joined, it was that. And then I just needed a night away from Mickey, and I wanted some adult conversation. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I just wanted to be with adults. And so I started holding parties, and it became more than $200 in a month. It became like $200 a week. And then it flourished because I was having so much fun doing this, and it changed my life. I found myself again. And then, all of a sudden the income started to come in, and I started sharing it with the women at these boutiques because it was so great for me and it changed my life so much that it was easy to share. And so fast forward, now I get to lead a huge team that I never expected. I've made incredible friendships. We go on free trips to Cancun, which again, the number cruncher loves that too. And now he can't wait for the check to roll in to plug into the budget, because we're paying off our home and we built a pool in our backyard. And these things that were dreams for so long have come true, all because of Jay Bloom. And so this has been a huge blessing in my life now, because I still have my great kids and my husband, and I get to go to all their events and have the flexibility. But I also get to share this with women that story is not like mine, And so that's what I want you to hear next. I want you to hear from women who have different stories and different reasons why they joined and how it's changed their life in a different way. And so I want to introduce Dawn Ledgerwood from Houston, Texas, actually Sugar Land, Texas. But Dawn, I want to welcome you to the call and ask you to share your story as well.
Thanks, Cheryl. I'm so honored to be with you and everyone. And my story is a little bit different than Cheryl's. And like Cheryl, I'm from Texas, a mom of twin girls who are 19. And I am a full-time speech pathologist. So I have been a speech therapist for 25 years. But when I had my girls 19 years ago, I love to have home parties. And so a friend of mine came over, did a home party for me. And I was like, I'm just joining for the discount. So I did that. And I'm like, I'm not going to sponsor anybody. I'm not really going to do a whole lot of parties. I just want the discount. Fast forward 18 months later, my husband was gone to Washington, D.C. for a year. My girls were 3. I have twins, if I didn't mention that. My girls were 3, and I promoted to director with that company and earned a free vacation for my husband and I. So at that point, I was hooked. I love working with children, but this gives me my adult time. Some people like, you actually get to go to party. And I'm like, I feel like I love showing where we just getting to socialize with other ladies. So I like to tell everybody I get paid to show jewelry and drink wine. It's like the best gig ever. And it has, although it is not money, it was not the reason why I joined. It has been a huge blessing to our family. Like I said, twin girls, both in college, and my J Bloom pays for apartment, college expenses, tuition, something that we don't have to take out of our family budget, which makes my husband very happy. So anyway, I'm so grateful that I discovered direct sales 17 years ago. And obviously it's a business I believe in, because I'm still here 17 years later. And J Bloom is a sisterhood of women like I've never experienced. And we would love to have you sit at our table. So
thank you, Dawn. So next we want to introduce Laura and Angie. So Laura Vanderford and Angie Thorne, they are pharmacists from North Carolina, also best friends. I'm going to let them take it from here, whatever order you guys want to do it in. I love their story, and I can't wait for you to hear from them as well.
Hey girls, my name is Laura Vanderford, and I am a wife, a mom to 3 kids, Gracie, who's 11, Weston, who's 8, and Kate, who's 3. And I'm a pharmacist. And when I joined J Bloom over 3 years ago, I joined because I knew what an incredible business opportunity it was. But what I didn't realize is how much fun I would have. And so the things that I love about J Bloom, I love meeting and connecting with other women while helping them create beautiful pieces of personalized jewelry that tell their stories. I love laughing and hanging out with girls at boutiques. I love hanging out with my J Bloom sisters on trips. These girls have become my friends, and I love the trips. I love taking the trips and My husband loves the trips too. I love encouraging other women. And as a pharmacist, I became a pharmacist because I wanted to help other people. But Jay Bloom gives that to me. I have a team. I get to help women grow their businesses and encourage them while they're doing that. And that is something that I absolutely love. And then I love that Jay Bloom's goal is to help their designers grow their own businesses. It's not just about the jewelry, they want us to help grow our business. But the part that I love most is that I've got to do Jay Bloom with my best friend, Angie. Doing this together has not only made everything double the fun, but it's made us more successful. We push each other, we lift each other up, and then we get to take these amazing trips together. And even though we're in different stages, I have small children and her children are grown. We both have successful businesses, and I'm going to pass it on to Angie and let her take it away.
Thanks, Laura. I'm Angie Thorne, and let me just start by saying, when your BFF brings an idea of something new to do together, you are going to jump on it. And if it involves cute jewelry, then makes it all the more exciting. And that was me 3.5 years ago, and I've never regretted it once. As a full-time pharmacist, I don't have many options for creativity in my day job. And that's where Jay Bloom came in and serves as an awesome creative outlet for me. Being able to design jewelry, put together looks, and help other women learn how to do that has been really a fun thing for me and something I totally learned from the get-go. I ordered my starter collection without ever seeing a piece of jewelry. Literally just had looked at the catalog. I was so excited to start, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But I certainly had fun learning. Laura and I were able to learn this business together, and we continue to collaborate almost every day as we build our teams. We've been on 3 all expense paid trips to Cancun, and we just earned our 4th for 2021. And when you can work and play with your BFF, that really is a dream job. And that's what I think this is. And I've met so many lifelong friends all across the country that I never would have been able to meet. And I really can't imagine my life without Jay Bloom in it. And I encourage each of you that are on this to jump out of your comfort zone and try something new. I promise you'll never know unless you try, and you won't regret it. Thanks.
I love that, Angie. Thank you so much. These 2 are so fun too. All of these girls on this call are trip runners. We've all been in Cancun together or on leadership trips together, which is kind of extra neat because that's where I've met some of them. And we laugh hard, and you might be able to see in some of the pictures we've uploaded for you just to kind of see our favorite memories. Some of my favorite memories are with you guys laughing on the beach. So special times. Thanks, girls, so much. Judy DeLuca, we can't wait to hear from you. Welcome to the call, and thanks for sharing tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am Judy DeLucia. I live in Missouri, and I feel like I'm one of the oldest designers, maybe the oldest, I'm not sure. I'm 61, and I kind of fell into Jay Bloom accidentally on purpose. I was going to kidnap, and I ended up hosting a party at the encouragement of my upline, and that was over 6 years ago, and here I am. And I'm going to tell you, I am maybe not the most, but I'm an introvert. And so I don't like talking in front of people. I get scared. I'm happy when the pandemic hit. I was just fine to be stuck at home. But what I realized is that when I go to a boutique or somebody hosts online, they're not looking at me, they're looking at the jewelry. So the attention is not on me at all. And it's just so fun. And I've been able to come out of my shell. Sometimes look at all these women here tonight. Look at all these beautiful women that are so successful. And then I find myself in the midst of them, and I'm like, how did I get here? Like, how did I get here with all these women? But you have to remember that you can't ever compare yourself to somebody else. My story might be a little bit different than theirs, but I'm still successful. And what success means to me with my Jay Bloom business is I've been able to give back to my community without impacting my family's budget at all. And But now an even greater thing is that my husband is ill, and so I need to be home with him. And so I have been working to be able to retire. It's been on my vision board for a couple of years. If you don't have one of those, whatever you do, you should have that. And I've worked toward that. And so now I am able to work my J Bloom business and be flexible and be here and be able to take him where he needs to go and still fulfill myself by having an outlet to be with other women, this wonderful sisterhood. It's phenomenal. Free trips. I get to take my husband on free trips. I mean, that's awesome, right? So I encourage you, I know you might think that you can't do it, but believe me, if I can do it and be successful at it, you can do it.
Oh, I love it, Judy. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. We appreciate you. It's been so fun getting to know you through J Bloom. I wouldn't know you otherwise. And it just,
Right?
it's the coolest thing. Okay, Rochelle and Ashton. So Rochelle Henderson and Ashton White are West Virginia girls. Just had a blast with them in Nashville at our leadership trip. And so Rochelle, I don't know who's going to go first, but Rochelle is an art teacher, mama, wife, and Ashton is a young, adorable married nurse. So I want you to kind of hear their stories as well. They're a team as well. So thanks, girls.
Okay, Ashton, I'm going to jump in first. My name's Rochelle Henderson, and I live in Lewisburg, West Virginia. As Cheryl mentioned, I am an art teacher. I was an art teacher for almost 10 years in West Virginia. And then I kind of took a break. So I'm going to try to condense my story because I make fun of all the time. Like I have volumes and volumes of things that have kind of led to this journey. And I feel like J Bloom has just fit in wherever I needed it and very seamlessly too. So the first volume is this long IVF story before I even found J Bloom. And then after that, it was a pretty rough pregnancy with my twin boys. I ended up in the hospital for a month. The boys were great, but I had complications, which I believe kind of triggered some postpartum depression too after that whole journey. So I took a year break from teaching to really connect with my kids, to heal. And during that time, I remember my sister kind of talking to me and being like, you just don't seem like yourself. Like you just have lost your spark. You know, like things that would interest me just didn't interest me anymore. Like it was everything I could do to put on some clean clothes. And I don't know if that's just motherhood with twins, or just motherhood in general. Like, you know, Cheryl kind of felt like she had lost herself,
Yeah.
But it was just the little things of like, just not even wanting to put on something pretty or to, you know, put on a new shirt or anything like that. And shortly after, you know, she had said this, my husband also had decided to quit his job as a banker and start a new career in insurance. So not only were we out my salary, now he was taking this leap into a business and I was stuck at home with my twin boys. So as I was scrolling on Facebook one night, I happened to be invited to a J Bloom party, instantly fell in love with the jewelry. And I thought, you know, maybe this is something I can do. Maybe this is a way that I can stay home. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, I was like, I could nurse my kids like while I'm on the phone and do my business. And I was like, you know, even if I could make a little bit of extra money, even if it was like Cheryl said, like $200, it was worth it to me to have the extra money for, you know, not just the diapers and formula and things like that, but to also have it for like all the fun stuff for my kids, you know, because I would feel guilty like buying a cute shirt for them or a cute outfit because they didn't really need it, but I wanted them to have it. So I joined J Bloom and quickly found success with it. And I was a total non-believer in direct sales. I jokingly say like before J Bloom, I would see like people posting things on Facebook and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I wish they'd get a real job. You know, like I just thought it was some kind of scam. And then quickly I realized that it wasn't, and I was making money and I was finding success and it was fun. And in the process of that, I started to like find my spark again. I started to like get excited to, and this is where I will tell you guys I'm a crier and I'm going to try not to cry, but, I found my spark again. And I realized like, it was fun again to play in jewelry. It was fun to put on makeup, to get dressed up. And that was just something I had lost in all of this chaos and this anxiety and this depression. And it just really helped to pull me out of it. So not only did it help me there, but of course it helped our family financially. And then moving on to our second chapter, as I like to call it, and see, I am crying, so just bear with me. But shortly after the boys were born, when my one son was 2.5, we found out that he is on the spectrum and he has autism. And for any parent of a kid with special needs, or anybody who has anybody they know with autism, especially when they're young, it requires a lot of therapy. And for my son Rylan, he is nonverbal. He's still nonverbal, and I needed to be available to take him to speech therapy, to take him to occupational therapy, to take him to ABA therapy, all of these places. So a traditional job at the time just did not work for me because I needed a super flexible schedule. And again, J Bloom, like I said, it's just kind of like been there when I needed it, and I didn't even know I needed it. I didn't know when I joined that I needed this flexible schedule. And then here it was where I was blessed to still be able to bring in an income and still have this flexibility where I could spend time with him and focus on his learning and his success. So that was huge. And then moving forward to our third chapter this year, my kids are in school now. They're in preschool. They're 4 years old, so they're going full time. And I was offered a position as an art teacher back in a middle school again, and I just couldn't pass it up this time. So now I'm a working mom, and I'm also doing J Bloom on the side. And I was so hesitant to jump in to teaching because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to balance all the things. My J Bloom business might suffer. But you know what? It's so funny. Like it just fits in. Like there are little things, like teachers will stop me in the hallway and see a piece of jewelry and they'll be like, oh, where did you get that? And then it's a way for me to share something I love with them. And, now it's just fun. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy the creative part of it. I enjoy making videos or Instagram reels and things like that. That's something that I like to create. And I especially love working with other women. So Ashton White is like my partner in crime. We live about an hour away from each other, but we've gone on, I believe, like 3 or 4 trips now with J Bloom, and we are climbing our way to another trip to Cancun. Fingers crossed we're going to qualify this month. But she is amazing, and I still am like, how did I find this sweet, genuine person? I'm so thankful for her, and I'm so excited for her to share her story. So Ashton.
Gosh, you're gonna make me cry just coming into my introduction. Hi, girls. My name is Ashton White. I am 29. I'm from Princeton, West Virginia. I'm a registered nurse. I work in a day surgery center at the hospital. And I've been with J Bloom for 2.5 years. I was looking for a little side gig just for some extra income, and met Rochelle through an online party, and kind of just gravitated towards J Bloom. I loved the jewelry. And after joining, it's just been an amazing experience since, I've earned an incentive trip to Cancun. I've gone on trips to Missouri to conference. I've been to Lewisburg to see Rochelle for team meetings. So we just went to Nashville for a leadership retreat. So we've definitely traveled with this business. So that's another huge, huge perk with J Bloom. So like I said, I've been with J Bloom for 2.5 years. I recently, back last year, we built a house. And so I kind of had to take a few steps back from J Bloom as far as, just the sales and my consistency, but I was still a designer. In March, I was laid off from my RN position. I know you think that's crazy, an RN getting laid off, but they ceased all surgeries after COVID hit. So they sent us home on a Friday and told us that they didn't know when we could come back and they weren't going to be paying us. So after my slight panic attack, I decided to shift my focus back to my J Bloom business. And I had 3 of the best months that I have had in a year with J Bloom, because I just shifted all of my focus into J Bloom, and I was able to connect with other women through COVID and all these, crazy times. And it just worked. And I was able to, help out with the bills and more. We were able to do little side jobs around the house and finish some things while I was off work for 5 weeks. And since then, I've built a team, and I earned the leadership retreat to Nashville, and I'm so close to Cancun, so fingers crossed. But this business has been more than just a side income and trips. I've built lasting friendships with all these women on the call tonight and so many more. And, it's something that I want to do for a long, long time. And I encourage any woman who needs a sisterhood, or who needs an extra income, or who needs just some beautiful jewelry, to just join our tribe. I've never regretted it, and I would encourage anyone to join us. It's truly been a gift and a blessing to me.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Rochelle and Ashton. Again, had a blast with you guys in Nashville and Cancun too, but you guys are a blessing to me and on our team and to this company. So thanks for sharing. Your stories are so different, but I love how you came together and you're working as a team. Okay, now we're going to close the call with a bang with our owner, Jennifer Bonacorsi. Jennifer, thank you so much for being on this call. To have our owner and founder on a call like this is just amazing, but it shows you her character. She's so down to earth and wonderful. We all adore her. So Jennifer, take it away. Thanks for being on the call.
Well, I feel like you don't even need me on this call, because every story is so impactful. I have the chills listening to each individual person, and it makes me even go back to when I really thought that I was just making jewelry for a hobby. And that was what I wanted to do when my husband was traveling. And at the time I had 3 young daughters, and I thought, you know what, I need something for myself. And so I had a friend teach me how to make a bracelet. And then from there, I self-taught myself how to make earrings and necklaces and pendants and rings and everything. I would take old jewelry apart and remake it. And so that was my hobby. That was my outlet. And it ended up turning into ways that I was actually making money, selling my jewelry wherever I would go. And like Cheryl's husband, and this is why our husbands are buddies, we have a numbers husband. I do too. And so Brett, my husband, who's also my partner in crime too, with J Bloom, but he's the numbers side of J Bloom. I'm the creative side, so it works out very well. But he would watch what I was doing, and he was seeing that I was selling my jewelry, but I really didn't know exactly how much I should be selling it for. And so he started taking things apart and calculating. He's like, okay, you should sell it for this. So that kept going on and on. And so, but what ended up happening over the years is that people wanted what I was wearing everywhere I went. And so we realized that other women are probably needing that same outlet like I was. And so now fast forward, we have 4 daughters, And J Bloom is 7 years old. It launched in 2013. We did have a different company before that. That was more of a beading company where you would design your own and make it, or design at a party, and then our designers would finish it for you. We do not do that any longer. You get to just go out and have fun wearing your jewelry, selling it, and you do not have to make it, which is great. But you still get to be creative because of the personalization. And that was super important to me because I still wanted that creative outlet. And on our call tonight, I'm looking at everyone's jewelry too, because some of us have the same pieces on, but it's worn differently. And that's the other part that I absolutely love, is when all of us J Bloom designers are together, it's like we have the same pieces, but we wear it all differently. And so it's not just a catalog company. You can really be creative with how you layer it, how you personalize it. We really encourage you. Our tagline is story. That's super important to me, that you can wear your story through the jewelry that you're wearing. And when people ask you about your jewelry, you're able to say, oh my gosh, look, I have my favorite saying on my jewelry. And so when J Bloom was created, was very important that I wanted that creative outlet. But also giving up and realizing that I couldn't do this alone, and I needed other amazing women around me. And so that's when we launched J Bloom in 2013. And all of these amazing women that are on this call and then all over the country, I would never have known them if we would not have launched J Bloom. And so if you're on this call tonight and you're thinking, you know what, this really sounds like what I need, I encourage you to just give it a try. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you love jewelry, you should give it a try. Do you need that outlet, like so many of these girls talked about, that you need that social outlet just for some girl time? Then you should give it a try. Do you love online? We call our parties boutiques. And the reason why is because we want you to feel special and we want your customers to feel special. And when you walk into a boutique, sometimes the boutique ladies that work there, they know your name when you walk in because it's that one-on-one feel. And that's what we really want. And that's why we changed our name from party to boutique. And we do online boutiques and we do in-home. And we've really amped up the online since COVID, and it's been amazing. And so now we have that in our back pocket. So we're not only an in-home boutique company, but we're also online as well. And so it's a great way to think outside of the box and say, okay, I have a friend in a totally different state and we can do an online boutique now together. And so it's just so awesome to add that online aspect to J Bloom and really go outside of your area. And then the extra income for your family. Now is such an amazing time with the holidays coming. We know statistically that people need that extra income for the holidays. And so right now could not be a better time to add that to your income with adding J Bloom. And so I never want J Bloom to be a burden to anyone or anyone's family. And that's why so many of the girls have said, it just fits in. And that's what I encourage all of you to do. I don't want it to take life away from you. I want it to be a part of your life. And so even tonight before the call, I'm at my daughter's volleyball game. I did not want to miss that either because that's important. It's important. And I don't want you to miss anything that's important in your life too. But when you're wearing your jewelry and you go to that volleyball game, what ends up happening, people sitting there are like, okay, that volleyball necklace you have on, I need that for the next game. And so those types of things happen all of the time. And it's just great to just fit J Bloom into your life, not take anything away. And then so if you answered yes to even just one of those questions, I encourage you to give J Bloom a try and contact your designer that introduced you to this call tonight, because we would love to have you. And if you have more questions, put your questions in this chat and I will go through and answer questions that you may have. And even some of the other designers, if they catch it before I do, we're going to help you answer any questions that you feel totally comfortable with what you're doing. So I want to leave you with a couple of my favorite quotes because like Judy said, she doesn't want to compare herself to other people. She wants to have her business be hers. So that's one thing that we really strive at J Bloom is that a flower doesn't compete with the flower next to it. It just blooms. You're the flower, and we want you to just bloom and grow your J Bloom business however you want it to be. It's not how Laura would have her business. It's not how Cheryl runs her business. It's how you need to run it to fit into your life and make it fit perfectly. And so one last thing that I want to share is the definition of bloom, because it's why I named the company J Bloom. We put the J in front of Bloom because Bloom was taken on all social media for flower shops. And so I added J for jewelry. But then when I wrote it for the first time, the first 3 letters were JBL. Well, that's my monogram. Had no idea. And since we're a personalization company and we did a lot with monograms when we were first starting, J Bloom, it was the perfect name. But the definition of bloom is the greatest productivity and prosperity cultivated for its beauty. And so we get to take this beautiful jewelry and put it on all of our customers, on yourselves, and it can tell a story through your jewelry, and it can just impact so many lives in so many different ways you have no idea. So I just want to just close tonight with just saying, if you're thinking, but you're a little bit nervous, I encourage you to just take that leap of faith, join our tribe. It's like no other company I've ever, and even when we go on our trips, the people working in the hotels and in the resorts, they come up to Brett and I'm not joking, every single trip that we go on, and they say, this company is different. What is it about this company? And we just sit back and we just are so thankful for the tribe of women that all gets to be together, and the husbands when we go on our resort or Cancun trip in January, those hubbies get to come. And that is the best part. I've met every single husband in this call and many, many more. And when the husband is so supportive of their wife, it makes so much difference. And so we absolutely love that. And so it's a family experience here at J Bloom, and we would love to have your family be a part. So thank you so much for having me on the call.
Yeah. Thanks you guys so much. Thank you, Jen, so much. We love you so much. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given all of us, thousands of us, and we're so thankful, and we can't wait to see who else joins our tribe and is blessed by you as well. So thank you again to all of you for joining this call. We've posted the collections, but we want you to get back with your designer. Let her know what you learned tonight. If you have any questions, like Jen said, you can drop them in the comments or ask your designer. And we're just very grateful to spend some time with you tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. And again, thank you to you who helped lead the call tonight. So thanks, you guys. Have a great night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.